Chains, Part 5, written by Nicole Nash, narrated by Lucy Hillman. I woke up with one of those instantaneous headaches, the kind that makes you immediately regret whatever it was you did the night before. I started to roll over to look at the alarm clock on my nightstand, but the chains stopped me. Reality hit me like a ton of bricks, the pain included. Aside from my throbbing head, my neck and shoulders were sore, and I was freezing. I hate being cold. Of course, the one time I actually try to find him, I end up in some kind of prison cell or dungeon or whatever. We normally met on Monday evenings, but I hadn't seen him or heard from him. I tried one more time to get a hold of him before I went looking. I figured he'd be with his friends at their spot at the foot of the mountain, so I headed that way. He told me I should never go up there, but this time I was worried, so I broke his rule. At the end of the steep, stony driveway, there was a locked gate. It was fall, nearly winter, and it had just started to get cold. I shivered. I hadn't even brought a coat. This whole trip was starting to seem more and more desperate. There was no chance of unlocking the gate, so I squeezed through the opening between two of the horizontal metal slats. I had no idea how big this property was, but I did vaguely remember coming here as a child for some kind of corn or apple festival, a distant past. Just as the sun finished setting behind the mountain, the long driveway to their beloved spot came into view. The tiny flashlight I'd brought from my car emergency kit was my only source of light now. I was glad to be able to see, but tiny flashlights in the dark have a way of making everything so much creepier. I was beginning to regret coming out here after that jerk. I heard an odd scraping sound to my right and froze in place, unsure if I'd heard anything at all. If that was him, he would have said something. The flashlight revealed nothing, and I figured it was just the paranoia of being in the dark forest alone. I heard the sound again and smelled something that might have been metal or blood. Immediately, some heavy arms grabbed me by my neck and shoulders. I struggled against the figure behind me. One of his arms was wedged in too tight around my neck. A blue-black sleep was pulling me downward. I could remember quick flashes from being carried, an old tire swing, blood dripping from an old deer hoist, the creak of the old farm door, terrible sounds of metal scraping along stone floors. I tried shrieking as I heard the chains and felt cold metal against my hands, but immediately I was out again, powerless for the moment.